Welcome back everybody, Robert with Occupancy Boost. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to claim and log into your Google listing and how to update any outdated information or any incorrect information. I'm going to show you how to also update your amenities, remove old photos and add new photos, and much more. I'm even going to show you how to get free advertising on Google. Stay tuned. I'm going to switch screens and show you how to get this done. Okay, the listing I'm going to show you guys today, or use it as an example, is this Express-In Hobby Airport. Everything that I'm going to show you guys today on here is what I had to do for this property right here, this Express-In. And I even changed the name of this property too, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So let me show you guys. First thing you need to do, if you want to get in here, obviously, if you want to update a listing, if I wanted to update this listing here, you can't do this unless you have claimed like partial owner or ownership of the listing. So if the listing's existing, you got to gain access through the person that has ownership of this listing. And let me tell you, the first thing you need to do is you need to be logged into your Google account. So you can see I'm logged in here. My emblem is right here at the top right. So I'm logged into my Google account. So the first thing you need to do is be logged in to your Google account. If you don't have a Google account, make sure you set one up. It's free to do. And if, whatever account you use to set up, to claim your listing for, or whatever business you're doing this for, a hotel, restaurant, maybe some restaurant people are watching this video, you can't move it. It's gonna be under that account. So make sure it's under the Google account that you want it to be under, maybe one that you use quite often. So you're gonna have to go to this page right here. And I'm gonna have a link in the description for this. It's actually not that. It's gonna be support.google.com/business. And that's this page right here. This kind of guides, if, after my video, you watch my video and you have some other questions, you can always feel free to, of course, ask me questions in my videos, but go to this page, and this is kind of a guide for you how to get a lot of stuff done. If you get stuck somewhere, go to this page, and this will answer a lot of questions for you. There's a lot of drop downs here. So support.google.com/business. And if you want to update a Google listing, as I mentioned, you're going to have to be a manager of that listing, or maybe the owner wants to turn over the Google listing to you. If you've purchased a business and they've already claimed the listing, or they built the listing and they want to turn it over to you, you're going to go to this drop down right here, the second drop down under update your business info on Google, and you're going to go to manage profile ownership. Manage profile ownership. So once you click on that, you're going to get to this page here. And if somebody already has ownership of this listing and they want to turn it over to you, they're going to hit this transfer primary ownership of a business profile. They can turn it over to you. All they is your email address, of course. And they're going to click on that, and they're going to turn over the listing to you. If you want to manage a listing for somebody like I did, I do not own that Express-In. I just got access to it so I could update it as needed. So you're going to want to request ownership of request ownership of a business profile. Okay, that's going to bring you to this page right here. And if you read down here on number 1, it says to find the business profile you want to request ownership of, use either of these methods. Go to business.google.com/add, or you can enter the name of the business, then choose it from the search results. So the easiest way to do this, I can tell you guys, is just to go to this link right here, business.google.com/add. And if you click on that, it's going to take you to this page here. And from there, what you're going to do, now again, you have to be logged in to your Google account. As you can see, I'm logged in because my icon shows up there at the top. So I am logged into my Google account. You can't do this unless you're logged into your Google account, so it can get very confusing if you're not. I know I keep repeating that, but it can get confusing, so make sure you set up your Google account first. So I'm just going to pick a random business, okay? I've already got access to that Express in, so I can't type that in. So I'm just going to pick a random business. So I'm going to pick, let's say, a Motel 6 in Los Angeles. Motel 6 Los Angeles. So let's just pick this one here. Motel 6 Los Angeles, California, LAX. Okay. So if I were to pick that business and go to this page, it tells me right now I can request access. It says, now read here at the top, it says someone else may manage his business profile. The reason I picked a Motel 6 is because I know that Motel 6s, they own the business profiles, the Google business profiles for all of the hotels. Okay, so all of the Motel 6 properties are managed by the corporate office at Motel 6. They are not managed, but they own the Google profiles. They start those, they build them, and they update them as needed. Now, the other thing I know that Motel 6 will do is they'll give access to the owners, and they give access to me if I need it. If I need to update a Google listing for a particular Motel 6, which I work with a lot of Motel 6s, they'll grant me access as a manager to update. And I've updated a lot of Motel 6 listings, okay? So the reason I'm bringing this up and showing this to you guys is it's not always going to be where you have to have sole access to the property. A lot of times you're going to want to be a manager of the business so you can update, but there's going to be other people that want to be, they're going to have to be, have access to that property also. So you need to decide who the owner of that listing, of that profile is going to be. And in this case, the primary owner of the listings for Motel 6s are the corporate office, but if I can get access to those as well, and you may be able to do that for some of your properties. If you're with a branded hotel like a Super 8, a Sonesta, so on and so forth, I'm sure they work the same way. But as far as Motel 6s, I know for a fact they work that way. So, or they may, some of those other brands may want to just update it. You give them the information to update. So you can do this for any property. It doesn't necessarily have to be a branded hotel that you're doing this for. It could be an independent hotel like the one I'm going to show you guys in the example. So you just click the request access button here. Now, this is the reason I'm going through this so thoroughly is it can get kind of tricky here. Okay. It says Motel 6 Los Angeles, California is owned by, and it doesn't spell out the email address to you, but it gives you a little bit of a hint. It says tm.gmail.com. Now I know this is going to be the corporate office at Motel 6. So if I need access, I just reach out to them directly. But if you know who owns the profile that you're wanting to update, you'll want to reach out to that person and ask them to grant you access after you do this. Tell them to expect an email from Google that you want access to that listing. Now it can get kind of hairy if you've purchased a property and nobody knows who owns the profile, the Google profile. That's when it can get really, really tricky for you, because you could request access and the email could go to that person and it could be a dead email address. So what you're going to want to do in that case is you're going to want to go back to this main page, this support.google.com/business, and you're going to want to click on this fix issues with your business profile and pick the area down here that it's going to steer you in the right direction as far as getting access to that profile if you can't get access to it. So go back to this page, and you can always type, what you need up here in the search button, and it will give you guidance. Okay. If all else fails, you can always go down here to the bottom and you can hit contact us, and you can contact Google directly. They will give you help with this, and that's pretty much about it with that. So going back to here, once you're on this page, if the person that owns the Google profile knows you're going to be requesting it, or maybe they don't, you just want to send out the email and hope that you get access to it. You can select the access level. Obviously, you want to be management if somebody else is already the owner. If you want to be the owner of the profile and you don't want the owner to have to go through the steps that I just mentioned to give you access, you can request access from the owner just by clicking that ownership button. Okay? You're going to click your relationship with the property. Are you an owner, employee, or agency? And then your name and your phone number, and then click that button down there and hit submit. Now, it's going to send them an email. As soon as they click accept, then you're going to have access to the listing. Okay? So, assuming that all goes well for you and you get access to the listing, the next page you're going to want to go to, or once you get access to the listing, when you're in your Google account and you get into that listing, it's going to look like this. So as you can see, it looks a lot different than the actual listing, which is right here, this. None of those icons show up. All the icons show up here because this is like the Google Extranet, if you will, okay? So now I can go in and I can update this listing. So the first thing, let's just kind of go through some of these icons right here. The first one is edit profile. You're going to want to go through here. You're going to want to fill out all this information about your property. Now, one thing I did for this property when I first started helping it, the name of the property was Express Inn on Google. I wanted to add the hobby airport name because I wanted to give it more of a significance online when people were looking at it. And the identifier, I wanted the identifier to be hobby airport for this property because it's located less than a half a mile from an airport here in Houston, a major airport. So I thought it was important to have that in the name. So all I did here is I just clicked on the pencil and I added hobby airport. Now that didn't automatically update it for me. It had to go through verification through Google, but of course they accepted it. As you can see, the hotels now has the hobby airport name associated with it. But they're going to want to review it. And you just go through and just make sure if this stuff is incorrect, make sure it's correct, or if it's not filled out, you can go ahead and add it in there. Make sure that your phone number is correct. I think I've seen this happen before where it's incorrect on a listing. Make sure you get the correct phone number added to your property if it's not there already. And here's something I think a lot of people aren't aware of now. Let me show you guys. When I first started helping this property, this website button was not there. So there was no way if somebody was on Google and they wanted to book this property online, if they wanted to book a room, there was no website button there. They had to call the hotel from the phone number right down here directly. Okay? So what I did is I went through, and since this property is an independent property and they do not have a website, what I did is I just got their Expedia website and added it here. So now when somebody is online and they want to book the property, they just click on that website. It's going to take them to their Expedia website. You can use Facebook websites on here. You can use Booking.com websites, whichever one you want to use. The preference the owner had was Expedia, so I put the Expedia website in here for people to book. And you can change this at any time as well. If you have any social media profiles, you can add them here. And then, of course, the business address, you're going to want to make sure that's correct. If it's incorrect, make sure you get it corrected, obviously. And then you're going to be able to move this little dot around here on the map to make sure it's correct as well. Okay? It's just going to ask you other information here about the hours. I don't really put the hours in for hotels because it's pretty common knowledge that they're open 24 hours. If they're not, I would put the hours that they're available. Some properties do close their front desk for a certain period of time throughout the night. None of the properties that I work with do that. And then you can also add different hours for different amenities that you have in your hotel, such as, breakfast, delivery, dinner, all that good stuff. If it's a restaurant, they're going to have drive-through, so you can signify those hours. I don't think there's a need for me to go through a lot of this other stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's probably the most important tab is going to be this profile tab, edit your profile tab. Okay. And then in here in the review tab, You can go in here and you can read you can answer reviews. If somebody leaves you a review on Google, you can answer it, thank them, or if there was an issue with it, you can, describe how you're going to rectify that. I think it's very, very important to reply to your Google reviews. If somebody has an issue with your hotel or they even think the hotel's great, always go in there and either address the issue or thank them for leaving you a great review. Messages. This is something I don't really recommend turning on. It's a chat button. So you can chat with customers directly while they're online. So if somebody's on your Google profile and they want to chat with somebody at the business instead of calling or, booking the hotel online, maybe they have a question, they don't want to call you, they can chat with you and you can turn that on. None of the properties I work with do that. That's going to take a little bit more manpower than maybe a lot of you guys have. Photos, very, 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 very important. And I always touch on this in all of my videos. I added all these photos for this property. I actually took these photos and I added them in here. Now, one thing I can tell you guys, there was a lot of old, outdated photos on this listing as well. And I just went through and hit that trash can on those photos and deleted them. And then I uploaded these new photos. But that's the photo section here. Very, very important. Make sure you get rid of those old photos if they exist. I know a lot of people on here probably have old photos that have been sitting on their Google profile for a long time. And just so you guys know, you cannot delete photos that somebody else uploaded. So you might have photos showing up from a couple of years ago that somebody uploaded to your Google page. You cannot delete those, but you can click on those, and there's a button on there that says report. You can ask Google to remove it for you, and they're pretty good about removing them. So make sure you guys take care of your photo section. Very, very important. Performance and advertising, I'm not going to go through too much at all, actually. Those are paid options. If you want to advertise on Google or you want to do a pay-per-click campaign, you can do that. Hotel details right down here, hotel details. That's going to be a little bit more information, in-depth information about your hotel. It's going to ask you about your amenities, your breakfast, your Wi-Fi, your parking, if you have a swimming pool, all that good stuff, okay? Sustainability happens to be if you have green amenities in your hotel, like you're doing things with energy conservation and that type of stuff. You can mark all that in here. And I'm not going to go through all these. It talks about your internet, your food, your drink. It asks about vending machines in that area. What kind of, if you have a restaurant in your property, your policies, and all that good stuff, okay? So that's the hotel details section. Very, very important. This edit rates button, you can actually have, if you don't have a website for your property, Google will create a website for you, and you can actually load your own rates in there for people to book. So if you're interested in doing that, that's a paid program. Again, I'm not going to go through it, but you're more welcome to take advantage of that if that's something you think you want to do or try out. Calls, it's going to give you, this is kind of going away here on Google. In fact, by the time you watch this video, it might already be gone, but it's going to give you call history. I guess no need to go through that because that is going away. Call history is going away on July 31st, so no need for that one. Questions and answers. People will ask questions. You can see there's 2 questions that have been asked for this property and nobody's answered them. So I'm going to have to get a hold of the property and tell them to make sure they answer these questions. Somebody wants to know about leaving their car parked at the property. Obviously, they're flying out because it's close to the airport, so they want to leave their car there for a week. They want to know if it's okay, and they want to know if they can pay for their property online. So, it's always good to log into your Google profile, and if somebody's got a question, it's going to sit back here in the Q&A area, and I'd recommend that you do that at least once a week, is get in there and see if anybody's asked any questions, okay? Last 2 sections here are going to be add an update and ask for reviews. Now, add an update. This is a pretty cool little feature that they have. If you've got something that you want to showcase for your property, Google will add it for you, and they'll leave it in there for, I think, around 30 days. If you're having an event that you're hosting, you can actually add that in there. And where that's going to show up in your listing is going to be right here at the bottom. It's going to be in your update section. And you can see there's nothing on here listed. But if I wanted to add an update about this property, if I wanted to add an update about this property, I would just go into that, add an update, click on it, and you can add a photo in there and you can add a description, okay? So while we're on here, let me just do that. Let's say I want to add that this hotel offers breakfast. So not everybody's going to know that. It's an independent property. So I'm going to put in here free continental breakfast. Daily. And you can even add, I'd suggest adding a photo in there. I'm going to add a photo in there of the property, and it's going to be this breakfast picture right here. Okay, there it is. And you can add a button down there if you want to about call now, book, order online. A lot of restaurants are going to want to do that, obviously, if they if they have online ordering type of thing. And you can add anything you want in there. Just hit post. Now that is going to have to go through a review. As you can see, it says your update is being reviewed. If it isn't approved, you'll receive an email. So they're gonna review this. I can tell you it happens very, very, very quickly, and it may even take place by the time this video is over. We'll check here in a second. So that's it. That's how you do your updates. And the last part here is asking for reviews. Now, if you want somebody to leave you a review, you can click on this button right here, and this is your link for your property. So this is going to be linked to your Google page. I really like how this works. You just click on the copy there, and let's kind of see. Let me show you guys what this looks like. So if you share that link with somebody, and they go to leave a review for your property, this is what's going to look like. And a lot of people like to do this, obviously they're going to do it from their phone, so you can text this to somebody. Look how easy this is for somebody to fill out. They give you the number of stars, they rate your rooms, your service, your location. They give a little summary about your hotel. They can add any photos if they want, answer a couple questions through these buttons, and then hit post. It's really, really quick. And why I like that, people don't really want, once a customer leaves your property, they're not going to want to go, back to their email. They're less likely to fill out a review for you after you leave. If you can catch them in the lobby and give them this link and ask them to fill it out before they leave, they can do this in a minute or two. You're going to have a lot more success in getting reviews. Now, you can always text these out to people too. And it's nice if they get it on their phone, they can easily fill this out on their phone. It's not a lengthy review process. It's not a website they have to go through everything. It's a dedicated link for a short form specifically for your property to fill out the review for. And I did a video on this, and I got a link in the description. It's this video right here. It's how to get this link. So I kind of go through a lot more details about this. And, how we use it at our properties and, the method we use in order to get more reviews from our properties. We actually create a flyer for customers to, a QR code for people to scan to get to this. So you can embed this link in a QR code. And I go through all that stuff from A to Z on what website to use to get the QR code and everything. So that's pretty much how that works for your reviews. Okay. So going back... let's see here. Going back here. So yeah, that's your reviews. And on that review section too, you can see you can actually email it out. You can use WhatsApp or you can use Facebook to get it out to people. So really, really neat little program they got there. Google makes it really good for you. And as you can see, the profile strength for this property right here at the top here that I'm hovering over, the profile strength looks really, really good. They said the profile strength is good. So I've went through and filled out all this information here for this property as much as I could, everything that they offered on a free basis. And, I've got good ratings back from Google on how the profile looks. So this is what the profile looks for the property, and this is what the customers are going to see online. They can click on the photo section and look at all the photos that I just showed you guys. Everything's going to be in there. And let me do a refresh here and see if that that update added. Yep. Okay, that update that I did before actually showed up down here already at the bottom. So Google's already approved it. So any customer that's online and going through our Google listing now, they're going to see that update. And I said, like I said, this usually lasts about 30 days before it goes. So, you can log in there once a month and add any type of update you want. If you're running the special on your rooms, or you've got a jacuzzi suite that you want to advertise to your customers, great place to do it right there. And you could even put that book now button for them to click on and go right there to book it. So that's all I have, you guys. If you like this video, please click the like button and please share this video with your friends. I know there's a lot of confusion out there, and I don't think a lot of hoteliers, especially the smaller hotels, independent hotels or the small motels, they don't really know the process you have to go through to update your Google listing. And they might not even know it's possible, but I just showed you guys it is possible, and I did show you guys how to do it. And I've got a super thanks button down there at the bottom. If you feel like donating to my channel, please do so. I take the money that I get from my donations and I pour it back into to my videos. So thank you very much, guys. Enjoy it, and I've got other videos coming up in the future. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.